What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we need to take a little bit of a look at the lovely alternate art secret rares that are coming around in set 2 of the Digimon TCG. We are looking, of course, specifically at Ultimate Power. Now, there are 10 of them, so let's get rolling. We'll go in set order. We've got Gallantmon. Now, Gallantmon here, and I will put the regular and the special art on the screen, so as I have a quick chat for these cards, you can see how they compare. Don't tell anyone, but I am not a huge fan of the artwork on the secret arts in this set. It's not doing it for me. Hey ho. Gallantmon, when you evolve, if you've got a red tamer, you can destroy one of your opponent's Digimon with 6,000 power or less. Seems quite good. And when you attack, for every 10 cards in your opponent's trash, you discard one of your opponent's security. But you just discard it, so they don't get to activate any security skills, etc. That's kind of hilarious. We're also getting an alternate art of Metal Seedramon. When you play, you return up to 2 of your opponent's level 4 or less Digimon to their hand, and they have to discard the evolution sources. And yeah, sure, your opponent can just play them back down again, but the fact of the matter is they've got to pay the memory to play them back down. This will backfire occasionally, because you might end up putting something like a Gabumon back in their hand, that they can then play back down again to draw a card. Try and avoid situations like that. And also on your turn, this Digimon cannot be blocked by your opponent's Digimon without an evolution source. I.e., any blocker that doesn't have at least one evolution source under it is not actually able to block you. That is going to make your life an awful lot easier. And you can manipulate this. You can make sure you get rid of any evolution sources on their blockers, and then you can attack knowing that blocking is no longer an option. That can be kind of funny, and that can happen kind of quickly. We're also getting Ulforce Veedramon, and I think this is a ridiculous card in terms of playability. On your turn, if your blue tamer becomes rested, and we got a couple of them that do that, this Digimon becomes active. And once during your turn, if this Digimon becomes active during your main phase, you gain a memory. So you rest your blue tamer, and there's, like I say, there's a couple of tamers you can rest. And then you also get a memory, except it doesn't actually end there. Because if you've evolved from Aero Veedramon, you also get jamming. And if you've evolved from Vmon, you also get to draw a card. There are a bunch of things we've got here that give you extra fun, extra play, extra tricks if you make yourself active during your turn. And it just gets a little bit over the top, and this becomes a frankly ridiculous card. We are getting ourselves Shine Greymon. When you evolve, you rest all of your yellow tamers, and for as many tamers as you rested, you get to pick a Digimon and give it minus 4,000 power. Now, this could be all onto one Digimon, or onto different ones, or 2 on one, 1 on 2 others, etc. And if you've got enough yellow tamers down, this can wreck your opponent's board straight away. Plus, you get an extra 1,000 power on your turn for every tamer that you have. Doesn't have to be just yellow. And this turns into a 13, 14, 15, etc. 1,000 power Digimon. It's not my favourite of the level 6s in the set, but it could be a very good one. Puppetmon comes along, and now the 10,000 power is low here, but then again, we have already seen another one with that. But in fact, there's actually 4, so maybe we shouldn't be that upset about it. But what we see here is when you play, you rest one of your opponent's Digimon, and during their next active phase, all of your opponent's Digimon cannot be made active. Now, there's going to be ones with summoning sickness, and ones that they've chosen not to attack with, etc., but your opponent is now put in this really awkward situation. Either they keep their Digimon active, or they lose a turn attacking with them. And sometimes they won't mind keeping them active, but sometimes they will. This could basically give you a free turn, and that's kind of awesome. Plus, you get an extra memory when you attack, just in case that wasn't good enough on its own. Now, Wargreymon is quite a simple one. It's got blocker, and it's got Reboot. But the combination of those two skills is phenomenal. Now, Reboot, for those of you that may have forgotten, it's a new skill coming around in Ultimate Power, and it says that you make yourself active on your opponent's active phase. Blocker, of course, allows you to rest this Digimon to redirect an attack towards it. But the pair of them together gets kind of silly, because what essentially happens is, on your turn, you attack. Oh no, now I am resting, I'm not able to block on my opponent's turn. Oh no, wait, I am, because I've got Reboot, so I make myself active on my opponent's turn. Now I can block. I block, bearing in mind 11,000 power is high, and there's always ways to boost it up. But then I make myself active on my turn, so I get to attack, and it means that you can basically attack on your turn and block on your opponent's turn, and you can just do this round and round and round until you get deleted. Phenomenal combo of skills. We also see Machinedramon here. Now this is another blocker. Seriously, black are tripping blockers. And also, when you play two of your opponent's Digimon, you Digivolve too, or de-Digivolve, or devolve, or however you want to say it. Basically, devolve is another one of these new keyword skills. It basically says that you discard cards from the top of their Digimon. So if you see a level 5 Digimon, you would, if it's devolved 2, you discard the level 5 and the level 4, you leave them as a level 3. Remember that you cannot discard the top level, i.e. if you see a level 4 only and there's no evolution sources, you cannot get rid of it. Or to put it another way, you cannot delete a Digimon doing this. And do bear in mind as well that you cannot do this to a level 3 because you can't have a level 2 in the battle area, it doesn't work. But Devolve 2 with blocker, that could be fun. Now, Piedmont comes in here as a very, very nice card. It's got Vengeance or Companion. I've seen it translated either way. But it's another new keyword skill that basically says if you're deleted in battle, you delete the person battling you. So you're at rest, your opponent can attack and delete you, and that is absolutely an option that they have. But they will go down as well. That could be a problem. So basically, you've got two options if you're against this. Either you leave it there and it gets to keep rolling, or you take it down and go down with it. Oh yeah, and when you play, you get to play up to 2 level 4 or less Digimon from your trash without paying their cost, which is pretty nice. Although this is a play skill, not an evolution skill, remember. There is a difference between the two. And fine, you don't get any play skills, but purple Digimon generally aren't relying on play skills. But we end up with stuff like Tapermon. When it's destroyed, you draw a card. Oh. Yeah, so you basically get yourself an extra Tapermon or something along those lines. Or indeed 2 of them. Count me in. Now, Metal Guerramon is back as a purple card. It was blue before, a couple of times. And it gets the alternate art. And when you attack, you may play a level 3 purple Digimon from your trash without paying its cost, but you don't get the play effect. Now, this is only 1, rather than Piedmon giving 2. And admittedly, Piedmon was level 4 or less, this is only level 3. But this is every time you attack, it's not a play skill. So, whereas Piedmon is 2 when you play it normally, and that's the only way to do it, this is 1 every time you attack, whether you played normally or evolved. I'm willing to give that up. And then we end up with Diabolomon. And I haven't given you my top 10 cards from Ultimate Power yet. That's going to be coming in the next few days. But if Diabolomon isn't number 1, it's going to be pretty gosh darned close. It is ridiculous. You see, Diabolomon here has got a skill whereby when you, and it is an expensive card, 14 cost to play normally, 4 cost to evolve 10,000 power, the stats are bad. But when you attack, you play a Diabolomon token, which is basically just a 3,000 power Diabolomon. And every time you attack, you get to deploy another one of these tokens. But if this would be destroyed in battle, you can just destroy one of those Diabolomon tokens instead, and then you get to keep your Diabolomon, bearing in mind that every time you attack, you put a new token out. So you can be resting with 3 Diabolomon tokens, and your opponent literally has to attack you 4 times to get rid of you. and all of those Diabolomon tokens can attack and start getting rid of security cards. If you leave Diabolomon unchecked for more than a couple of minutes, it is going to go very, very badly. And then we remember we've got cards like Guerramon, where when you play a Digimon with the same name as this, you draw one. So if you've evolved from Guerramon, every time you put out a token, you get to draw one. And then if you've evolved from Bezelmon, every time you do it, you gain a memory. And then we've even got Infernmon that lets you evolve into it one cheaper than you normally would. And we just end up with this frankly ridiculous combo, ladies and gentlemen. It gets kind of silly, kind of quickly. I expect this to be one of the very, very best decks around. I expect this to be a tier 1 deck day one. It's a bit silly. And there are actually a couple of others that I almost forgot. You see, as well as having the Secret Rare Alternate Arts, we have the Secret Rare Alternate Arts, i.e. the alternate arts of the Secret Rares from the set. So we've got Bezelmon here, which says that if you've got 10 or more cards in your trash, you can evolve from Impmon, just paying the usual 4 cost. So rather than evolving from a level 5, you're evolving from a level 3. And I probably don't need to tell you that that is quite the ridiculous speed boost. Also, when you evolve, you get to destroy one of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon. So basically, you get your level 6 out way faster than usual, cheaper as well. And you also get the benefit of destroying one or deleting one of your opponent's Digimon at the same time. That is a very good thing. This is, this is going to help you out quite a bit in quite a lot of your games. I think that is quite fair to say. And then the actual final one here is Black Wargreymon. If your opponent has a Digimon with 10,000 power or more, the cost to play it from your hand is reduced by 6. Oh, yeah, that's pretty gosh darn good. Now, instead of being a 13 cost to play normally, it is a 7 cost to play normally. And if you are battling your opponent's Digimon with the highest amount of power, you make yourself active. And this is not limited to once during your turn. So you can fight the most powerful Digimon and then fight the most powerful Digimon and then fight the most powerful Digimon and essentially keep going for a while. And that's going to be a lot of fun for you, not for your opponent. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Those are all the new secret rares. It would be frankly rude of me if I didn't show them to you. So consider me not that rude, really. But now I'd like to hear from you guys. I'd like to know which of these you like. I'd like to know what you think of the artwork, the playability. I'd like to know whatever you want to tell me, really. So go nuts, would ya? Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWassy. That's where we talk Digimon and a bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCGradio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun stuff. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wassy Plays.